15a. So in this chapter, we saw athematic second aorist. There's only one of those in the first paragraph here. I've highlighted in yellow. Other than that, of course, the verbs are underlined in red, participles in green, right? So our athematic second aorist there is going to be a participle. All right, so beginning here, so the first verb is ason, which of course is were, the imperfect, right? The imperfect of to be, right? So that's they were, who were, the nominative. Hoi atenaioi. So hoimenun atenaioi and aporia esan pleste. So un, of course, therefore the Athenians were. Then I have the preposition en and two datives going with it. So aporia and then the superlative pleste. So the Athenians were in a very great aporia loss, right? Didn't know what to do. Hode Themistocles episen autus me eken tois barbaros ala huper teis eleuterias makastai. Okay, so Themistocles, right? So we had our men here about the Athenians, now about Themistocles. So Themistocles did what? The verb is episen, right? That's eris from Paeto, you recall, persuade. So he persuaded, right, them not aching to yield. The infinitive plays in there. So he persuaded them not to yield to the dative, tois barbares, to the barbarians. Allah, but, okay. So not to yield, but probably another infinitive coming up, right? So not to do this, but to do something else. Another infinitive, and that infinitive is going to be makastai. So he persuaded them not to yield to the barbarians, but makastai, to fight. Huper tes eleuterias, for on behalf of freedom. Tas tun gunaikas kai tus paidas kai tus gerontas estin Peloponneson kai ten Salamina e comison, ten Tatikain kai ten Polentois polemiois catalipontes. Okay, so our friend un again. So therefore, all right. So what's going to be our verb? It's not coming up until way down here. Ekomison, right? First aorist, kamisto, take a ring. So they took, right? Is there a nominative here? Do you see a nominative? There's not. So it's just they, right? Referring to who's the last they we talked about? The Athenians, right? So they, right? So they took or brought, okay, the direct objects, right? Brought what? So accusatives, of course, not objects or prepositions, but just loose accusatives, right? So what do we have? Tas kunaikas, the t here is short for te, so this is introducing, a group of things here, right? So could say both here. So they took both the women and the children and the old people. Now you have a preposition with the other accusatives here, and te and kai again, right? So both to the Peloponnese and Salamis. Right? So a lot going on there. The verb is ekomisan. They took the accusatives, the direct objects. They will be accusatives that aren't the object of the preposition here, not the object of a. So that explains these accusatives, but the other accusatives. So they took, therefore, both, if we want to take to the women and the children and the old people, then a prepositional phrase, to both the Peloponnese and Salamis. All right, moving on. Tein tatikain kai tein Poland tois polemiois catalipontes. Right, no new verb, just a participle here. So catalipontes, right? And this, right, tes, not as, so I know it's nominative. So it's describing the Athenians, right? The same wants you to do the ecomisine here, right? So they took blah blah blah. They catalipontes, right? So what tense of the participle is catalipontes? The second aorist participle, right? So maybe having left or abandoned both Attica and the city, it's Athens, right? Having left them to the indirect object, to the enemy, right? The enemies, if you want to be technical here. Right? So they took those people to those places, okay? Catalapontes, the participle aorist, having abandoned um, both Attica and the city to the enemy. Autoi, right? They themselves. Right? Autoi be they themselves, you recall. Okay, so Autoi de ace tas naus, ace bantes, pros teen salamina, pros elplusan kai, rather, peres coasdomto, hos katatalatan macumanoi. Okay, so they themselves. All right, so we have a participle modifying they themselves. It's the second aorist participle, right? We just saw this, right? From the verb bino to go, right? So participle with the prefix rather ace. So ace bino, it's aorist participle ace bantes here. Right? So we went over those forms, right? You copy those verb charts or are doing it now, hopefully. So second aorist participle here from a thematic. Right? So it's just BA. Right? There's no ontes here, right? It just goes right to entes after the A. So they themselves, having gotten on board, right, stepped onto Tas Naus, the ships, right? Notice the preposition and the prefix both, but it's one idea. You just take it once. So they themselves, having gotten on board the ships, pros eplusan, right? They sailed toward, right? This is aorist, right? First aorist. Sailed toward Salamis, right? Again, the prefix and the preposition all goes together. So they sailed toward Salamis. And paraskoasdomto, of course, is what tense. That's going to be imperfect, right? This is a present stem, but we have our e augment and secondary ending, so it's imperfect. So they sailed Eris to Salamis, and they were preparing, right? And then hos here plus makumenoi. That's a tricky devil, isn't it? That is a future active participle, right? Remember this verb has as a tricky future. It kind of becomes a contract, even though it's not one of the ones you may be expecting it to do it. So it's irregular. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So it's a future participle, right? With host, that shows purpose. You recall that? Hopefully you do. Host plus a future participle shows purpose. So they are preparing for what purpose? To fight katatalaton by sea. Right? For what purpose? To makumenoi, to fight by sea. Right? So that's our first paragraph here. I'll go ahead and knock out the rest of this. We'll go over it, and I'll see you next time.